All right. Welcome to the Dragon's Tome. I am your host again this week, Chopper, and I am joined with the two lovely gentlemen to my left and right.
I'm underneath you, and Jack's to your
It's all
left.
it's all semantic at this point. Jack and Rob. We are here in Christ, are we?
Jack almost said something.
I have given you opportunity, but
You did
Opportunity.
give us opportunities.
opportunity.
Oh my God,
Which
he's making
is
up words.
Yeah, which is apple
Appletini.
that you push towards them, but then you take it away at the last second.
So here we are.
Oh, I got like 7 articles in this one, so we better get going.
Yeah, so
Oh,
here we
Jesus.
are in the January of '86. So Happy New Year. Wait, aren't we already in '86? This is '87, right?
This is it might have been a misprint. Where are we?
It is a misprint. Up in the letterhead, it says January '87, but if you look at the bottom of the page, it says January '86 in the
That's
table of
weird.
contents.
It's supposed to be 86. Yeah.
It's supposed to be '87.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be 87. You're right. Yeah, it is 87.
Rob,
Right?
Rob says, "I've got a lot going on. We got to hurry up." And immediately the discourse de-evolves into
What year is
into a
this?
mystery of
Misprints.
date.
Roger Moore's the new editor, and here we go.
Yeah.
It's all screwed up.
That's confusing. Anyways,
Well,
this cover is pretty cool.
To continue, '87 January. The cover looks nice. Who is this by?
Jim Holloway.
Got good color.
Are those dwarves or are those gnomes, Jack?
Those are dwarves for sure.
I'm going to give those dwarves for sure this time.
One is a standard Norse dwarf with another one that's like a picked, like a Boudica style dwarf. Both pretty stock standard dwarfish. And we've seen pictures that like are this same motif. Hey, we killed one of them. They're looking for us. We're hiding. This is a very well done one. I just love the way the picture, your eye wanders around it. Very, very nice.
Yeah, it's got a good sense of color too. Like it puts a spotlight on the three guys, even though they're trying to hide. But you can tell that they're in a dark area. Dark things are happening.
Well, they killed is that a orc? I think it's an orc.
I'm gonna go with an orc.
And the other
Yeah.
orcs are searching for them, so they're trying to hide the body. Yeah, it's cool.
No.
It's a really good cover. It's a very classic dragon cover, I think.
Yeah.
Like it looks like if you saw this, you're like, oh, that's a cover to Dragon magazine.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. I like it a lot. Cool. It's
All
it's
right.
when we like the covers, it's harder because we have nothing to nitpick. We're like, it's cool. It's $3.50 and there's no special features in this one. Do we want to talk about that?
For the first time.
Yeah, they're not even lying about the special features anymore. Like the
Yeah.
last one, it was like ship thing was special features. It's like no, that's just a bunch of articles.
So
It's been a while. $350 is the price now.
Yeah, we'll see when it goes up again. I'm sure it will. I'm pretty sure it was $4.25 or something when I was buying it. I think so.
I remember it being $4.25 at some point too.
Yeah.
I think probably when my subscription ran out, which will be soon because this is January '87. I got about 8 more months before I leave for college.
Before you leave this plane,
I do. So, all right, let's move on to articles. All right, so Rob, why don't you start us off with your article? What page are we going to?
I got so many. It's so many. Let's go to page 12.
I got quite a few too myself, actually.
We'll probably go over the elements of mystery, limited information campaigns, role playing games by Robert Plamondon, who sounds
This
like
is one of mine.
sounds like some kind of dinosaur. You ever see the Plamondon?
Yes. Based on the naming convention, I would say it has tusks.
Oh, I thought it has a fin.
I was picturing a water plant-based eater. Like
See, I thought it had a giant fin on its head. So who knows? Anyways, this is ways to add mystery and wonder to a campaign, and it makes players role play instead of metagaming, which it always seems to be an issue. But
Yeah,
Like when I was in high school, I think there was a lot of metagaming instead of
I
actual
guess.
role playing.
Yeah, but I think now,
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure what the point of this article is. I mean,
Wow.
it's kind of basically how you run a game nowadays, and more
Well, it's
so
got it.
what I've been used to, and then I've had been lucky enough to have a DM says, well, you know that, but your character
Yeah.
doesn't know that.
But this is also gives a lot of information how to use like rumors and whispers and things to either give you clues to the campaign or throw you off to red herrings. Also makes
Mm-hmm.
towns more realistic and lived in. And having NPCs actually use the PCs, which is very video game thing, like role playing game where you have NPC side quests and stuff. That's pretty much what they're talking about here, way before there was such things in role playing games or video games. Yeah, and change up the. They've always talked about changing up the creatures because everybody's read the monster manual, so you got to change make how they're different. And
It's phrased. It's the framework of the article is, hey, the sense of mystery is gone in your game because everyone's done it before. You're high level characters, you know everything. This is how to break it down and start from scratch and do something that gets back that sense of wonder. But I think every game should start the way this is
oh yeah, but I
laid
think
out.
that's the
Yeah.
point. I think like Pat said, nowadays it is, but back then
Yeah.
maybe it was not so much.
So like it's even today, it's a good read. Like this
Yeah.
still stands up.
It's like please do these things. This is the bare minimum you should be doing anyways. But I do like the he says magic should be rare and wondrous, which is always good in I don't know unless you're playing a high like magic one where everybody's a magic user or something. But and I like the part where he says that you encourage players making notes and making wrong assumptions to add wrong turns and mishaps. That happens constantly. Anytime you make notes, we're like,
Mm-hmm.
I know in the Call of Cthulhu game we're playing, we make copious amounts of notes and we just misinterpret them constantly. So
And as a good DM, I don't try to straighten you out because that's
yeah,
half the fun is.
yeah, you're like, is this person? Well, you'll find out. But yeah, yeah. He also describes like just different ways to make worlds like the cities lived in because he was saying like, oh, you go in a city and it's here. You go in this shop, okay. Look at this. Look at the book. Here's all the things you could buy there. Instead of trying to like role playing game through through the world. As always, Jack's system really does. I think you do that well, where you're just thrust in. You don't know anything about it, and you're just learning as you go.
And that's the joy of not having a framework that hundreds of thousands of people already got the books and like that. You can do that. It's much harder when you have people who are
read
I
every
picked up
single thing.
Yeah, I picked this up and I read it. Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
especially because how many people were GMs and players, right? So they'd have to read
Yeah,
it. It's
true.
not like they're doing it just to be a jerk. They just. But I also like. There's tons of things that I know about monsters and stuff in various games, but you play your character now. Like I think that's what Jack you were saying. Like you play the character. You don't play what.
which
Yeah.
Even if you do know it, you have to say, does my character know that?
Or you'd
then
be like, obviously.
then I can't act like that because
or
I
it's
don't.
and it's also more fun to have information and it adds tension. It adds humor when you know something but your character doesn't know it. Like that's. Like I remember once again in Jack's campaign, we had two different sets of adventurers going, so I had two different characters. But one set of characters went to one location, and then the other set came across that location, and we know what happened to the other characters in that location, but we didn't know what happened, so we're like, oh shit. But yeah, it's that kind of stuff that it's like
running two groups and having one person between the two. There's
yeah. Like obviously you can metagame and say, well, I'm not going in there because I know what happens, but what's the point of that? What's the fun in that, really?
Yeah, exactly.
But
so, all right.
I think with age you get that. As kids, you just want to know everything. You want to min max. You want to be perfect at everything. And now it's like it's more funny when
a big part in that.
you roll your hit dice or your character up and it's some shitty stats and you're like, oh, that's funny. I'll have to be able to play that. Like oh, I have a low intelligence, so wait till I play a low intelligence. Yeah, it's always fun. But as a kid, you're always like, yeah, I want all 18s. But that's not fun.
All right, Jack, what do you got for us?
Okay, let's see. We'll go to page 24, please.
Oh, that's two of mine knocked out. Perfect.
Nope.
I
This
don't
is
have as
not
many
one
to
of
go
mine.
over.
You can have.
Dungeoneer's Shopping Guide. Robert A. Nelson, you saw a definite need and you filled it perfectly.
Yes.
This
Everything in one
is
spot. Yeah.
a very concise, short, but has every element you're going to need to bulk out, say, a store or like a general store, or if someone asks how much something costs and they've got some hair up their butt about doing something, this would be a photocopy put in somewhere. It is lists of things you might need, paintbrushes, files, like vials, stuff that wasn't in the player's handbook, but people would want to have. And then it goes up to say a little more eclectic, but still like
Like
different
musical
musical
instruments.
instruments
Yeah.
um, and this would be invaluable to have this if someone brought it up. I want to buy this. Oh, okay, yes, here's the cost, and this will always be the cost.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all in one place. It's pretty much a store all in one place. You don't have to
Yeah.
flip around, figure it out.
It's just something that you can add to whenever you're buying, and then
Well, once again, I current little anecdote. I was trying to figure out how much certain things in Cyberpunk Red were. I could not. It's in so many different places that I was just like, I can't figure out where this thing is because I just look and you're trying to find, and I'm like, man, I wish there was just a complete list of all the things you can
yeah,
buy.
sometimes you just don't get it. I agree.
Yeah. So
Call,
it's
Call of Cthulhu's that same way too.
yeah. Well, I think eventually one of the Call of Cthulhu books has just a whole supplement that's just prices for things in different
Items.
eras. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was
So,
especially those kind of get in. Once again, this is for dungeoneering. It's that kind of thing where weird stuff comes up. You're like, well, I need this, and it's like, okay, how the hell do I know how much that is? Like, you have to make up some random price for it, and yeah.
all right. You got anything else to add, Jack?
No, that's it. Sweet,
All right.
simple.
Let's go to my next article then. Page 35.
Hey, these aren't any of mine. Ecology, of course.
Got another ecology. The ecology of the Onkeg.
Giants.
I didn't see who this was written by.
Let's see if it's in the list here.
It just says gaming notes by
Mark
Robin Jenkins.
Mark Fail.
Okay.
He
Well,
failed to put his name on his article.
He
That's
did.
funny.
I put down the ecology that was just okay.
Well, you don't want to know about the giant ants, pretty much what an Ankh is.
Okay, well, it's a praying mantis. So the story of it was meh, and I found that the info in the ecology was not anything more than you got out of the monster manual.
It's just a
Things
story
that,
wrapped in the monster manual description.
yeah. So, but things that weren't in the monster manual are like these creatures are related to the praying mantis and its mating habits. You know,
See,
it's works.
I always thought they were ants. I don't see them praying mantis.
Well, if you look at the shape of the thing, it's got legs in the front like praying mantis, and it's
But
got
they
the
dig through
mandibles
the
like a praying
ground, don't
mantis.
they? Don't they?
So
Praying mantises don't go in the ground, do they?
some do.
I don't know.
Uh,
I could see both of those influences, but at no point did I think that they would follow one or the other in any particular way.
It was a separate thing altogether.
Yeah, like if you were gonna, a centipede probably would have been like my thought. So
yeah, it always looked like a praying mantis to me, especially in the monster manual picture. So, other things taken from this article is you can harvest the acid sac that it spits, and then if you're able to kill one of these things, you can actually make armor from its shell. So,
Is it?
again, it's just a meh ecology. Most of the information that they talk about is in the monster manual itself. The story is okay. Just
That's why he didn't put his name on it.
yeah,
and plus, you know, saying that you have Ankh armor, you can't say that too many times fast.
you just call it scale mail at that point, right?
Oh,
Or chitin mail.
Chitin.
some chitinous.
I have chitinous mail.
Chitin.
So, but
Chitlin.
all in all,
I don't think
did
Chitlin
not
mail would be
did
very
not
useful.
did knock my socks off. So, but let's get to the top of the batting order again. And Rob, what do you got?
Oh, was I first? We're gonna go to page 42 because it's the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
See, that's my second one. So good.
Oh,
We're knocking them out.
I could do a different one if you want it. This one, Jack. You go ahead. I got so many. I'll do a different one. Jack, you go ahead. Go ahead.
What?
I have
Take your
so
turn,
many.
sir.
I will just say this is ideas for non-combat in AD&D adventures, but so it's like romance, business, organizations. Romance. How awkward is that for a player and a DM to do a romance adventure? Unless they're boyfriend girlfriend or something, or
It'll be a
girlfriend,
rom com.
Unless
It
unless they're romantically involved already, I think it's a little awkward.
my my notes is I think these are more like motivations for motivations beyond just fighting for your character. I don't think
So
there
you think his
has to
premise
be.
was totally his premise? What he said in the beginning wasn't what the actual article was about. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know if you could remove the combat from the game and still have these because this is a different game. But to have romance or business or any of the just the things that are they are a motivation that is just beyond the hack and slash, the dungeon delve, but done properly, I think there's some merit into all of the things he lists.
I think that that's true if it's as a secondary thing, but the premise of the article is as a primary thing, which I think that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Because romance, that's awkward. Businesses, what it'd be fun for an accountant, I guess, but you're trying to just handle a business. I can't do that in real life. You make some money.
But as a group of players, like all of this has to be
It almost seems solo to me. This is all solo adventures because you can't have a group of players have a romance adventure.
or a group of players having
Any of them, really, yeah.
a business, like, and how would the mechanic? There's no reason for it, but you could have a group of players making
Side
having
things, yeah.
yeah having adventures based around the pining of one of the players and the
That's almost
unacquainted love over another.
yeah. That's
of a
almost natural
NPC.
in any role playing game, right? Like that's
Right,
things
right.
that
Or,
should happen,
you know,
anyways.
You guys have a business. You now have this bar, and
Or,
now
or how many
you
times you
need
get
to.
players just like I'm gonna buy this because I know later I can sell it somewhere else. Like there's tons of people that kind of play like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and organizations, I said it's like yeah, for future politicians, you gotta learn the ropes of trying to run an organization. But as primary, sort of what this article is implying, yes, it's insane. But what Jack says, it should be obvious that that's what you do. You always should have secondary objectives other than just killing monsters in a roleplay game, because yeah, it gets boring after a while. So, or it's also targets like things to goals to achieve, right? So
Yeah. You're not leveling up doing these things, but it should be the thing that gets you to immersed into a world where you're not having to deal with your day-to-day life.
yeah, some people just want to have a giant centipede that you turn into a mobile base, and then it's a thing to
It's
yearn
not that
for.
much to ask.
Can't
Yeah.
turn a giant centipede into a mobile base. That's ridiculous.
Apparently you can't because we weren't allowed.
Yeah, and I
Right.
hear a naysayer in the group already too.
No.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to just poo-poo this idea. And, Rob.
I just did mine,
But you gave it to Jack.
You gave it
but
to
Jack
me,
refused
so
to have it, so it's Jack's turn.
No, I was going to refuse, but then Pat said, "Jack, go," and I did. So
Oh. Is it back to me then?
Do it
Yes.
again.
48.
Oh, that's another one of mine.
Well, this
you
one
have
I
to
just
respect your elders,
I thought
Robert.
this would have been you too, Jack. Of all
this one I have nothing. Once again, this is not me describing these things, but it's between this and the next article. It's I forget the next one's called Bizarre the Bizarre. Between these two articles, this is exactly what Dragon Magazine is for, and it's old school Dragon Magazine where it's just a bunch of magic items that you can just throw into your game. And this is what I remember Dragon Magazine being about right here. That they for a long time under a certain Mohan, we never got this kind of stuff, or not as much.
This magazine, the last one too, but this one in particular is
Old school.
classic.
Yeah.
What I would get this, and money well spent. I
Yeah.
would enjoy
I agree.
every article. It's
Especially
almost too much.
since these are 9 Magical Masks by Dr. Greenwood.
And then the next one is a bunch of Bizarre the Bizarre from all different people sending things in that they must have been sending them in for years, and they just never published them, and they just were like, yeah, okay, we're gonna start publishing the Bizarre Bizarre again. So yeah, it's great. So Pat, you have something to say about any of these masks?
Not really. I mean, some are great and some are just some are great and most don't disappoint. You know, as you would
Classic
expect
Greenwood
from,
article, yeah.
yeah. So I like the Mirror Mask. You know,
I like that movie. Yeah, it was good.
because it
Jack like Mirror Mask.
share. But the Mirror
Not
Mask.
Mask. Mirror Mask, the movie Mirror Mask, not the movie Mask.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mask.
And yeah, Mirror Mask. I don't get the reference. I don't.
You've never seen that movie? Jack, you would love that movie. Jack, you should find this movie and watch this movie. This
Mirror
was,
Mask.
Yeah, this is like a Jack movie. Look it up. I'm
Okay,
amazed you haven't
writing-
seen this movie. It is so weird, and yeah. Anyways,
I always thought the Mirror Mask was a good one to have against gaze attacks.
oh, that's racist. No, it's sexist. What is it?
Yeah, let's keep it.
I don't know how that's
We'll keep
sexist,
the
but
hate-filled.
I don't know how
rhetoric
that's
out of here.
sexist, but we're going to go to page 39 now for my article. I'm
What
surprised-
page? I was thinking of
39.
39. Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't pick this one up too, Jack.
I was thinking of escalating the comedy to the point
Yeah,
past
I think
where
it was good that
and
he got past it.
and I was self-editing, and then I was like, they're talking, and I'm still thinking, no, can't say that. No, can't say that.
So here we are with Hounds of Space and Darkness. I thought this was a cool article about what I call the underdark dogs.
Underdogs.
Underdogs. These are all the dogs created by the Githyanki and the Githzerai. Anyone who knows the Fiend Folio, these are the slave races from the Illithids. And so the Githyanki and the Githzerai took dogs from the prime material plane and started breeding them in the Illithid way. And so then the Githyanki came up with the Coolgrim, and the Zarkle are the Githzerai. Of course, the Githyanki are the bad guys of the two. So these ones are shaggy with powerful jaws and built to kill. And the Zarkles are kind of tiny, 3 foot high, but not as big as the other ones. They're like 200 pounds. These are more like 150 pounds. And they're like there for hit and run attacks to protect.
They kind of do a nature nurture situation where the
Mhm.
two kind of diametrically opposed slave races, how they breed over all this time, and what the results would be. The Githyanki treat their dogs like Spartans, and very cruel, and make them into war animals, and then it's interesting, especially if you wanted to add a little bit of flavor to meeting these two races.
Especially if you mess around with some of these Fiend Folio Underdark creatures. And the last set of dogs are, I can't even pronounce this word, but I'm going to try it. Zotzcoyotl. Zotzcoyotl.
Yeah, it's like the what's it? What's that? The
Quetzalcoatl?
yeah,
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's the Mesopotamian or not Mesopotamian, Mesoamerican.
But these aren't Mesoamerican dogs. These are Drow dogs.
Doesn't make sense because they should be with that name.
Yeah. But basically, these are bat-faced dogs that the Drow have.
Yeah, I'm not so fan of the bat-faced dogs.
No, I mean, these aren't even bred. These are just dogs that they found in the Underdark, and since they've
They're not
since
dogs. They're wingless bats.
yeah
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this point.
When I was reading the description, and I should have known what they were doing, but they said, oh, they've got instead of fur, they've got these pelts. I'm thinking, oh, some silky pelts, and the way they described everything, and I saw the picture, and I went, oh
Yeah.
no,
Mhm.
no, my head canon was so much cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine, like, well, once again, didn't, what's his name? Drow Boy? Didn't he have panthers? Or a panther?
He had a magical panther, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I remember having the miniature. But, yeah, so. I think of more cats when you think of drow, not so much dogs.
Well, I only think of cats because of what's his face, but not because.
Ritz.
But if you read any of the
Ritz.
Dritz, if you Dritz the Dritz books, no one else has cats in that whole city.
Yeah.
So, um,
I wonder if they just took a picture that was already like just a star nose bat or something like that, or whatever they would call that in real life, and they just stuck that there, and that was not the intention, but it just kind of works.
who knows?
I don't know.
The
I
more
guess
you
it
look at it,
worked
you're
for
like,
me.
the less you like it. Eh?
Yeah, I didn't care for it, and I think I'm not the only
I'm
one.
not. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the drow dog either. But the Git dogs I thought were really cool.
There you go.
Well, that being said, then take it to your next article, Rob.
Back to me. Did we skip Jack?
No, he's got no more articles, and
I did my two.
I feel bad for him, but I also don't want to keep flaunting it in his face. So let's get to
Aw.
this segment quickly.
He's following the rules, and he needs to be mocked and ridiculed, derided.
We're gonna go page 70 because it's the Marauders, the evil. Well, at the time, you don't know that they're servants of Sinister, but they are. But this is
Finistar.
right after the Mutant Massacre. This obviously happens because none of these characters have the real names revealed, and there's no back. Like even Sabretooth doesn't have any history in this. Like there's some famous people that don't have any history.
I love the
Malice.
picture they used for Sabretooth too. You don't know, but
Oh
when
yeah,
you
it's
look at it,
old
you
school.
go,
Yeah, that's like
yeah,
his first appearance in like Iron Fist. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. In Malice, they don't talk about her. She was like possessed Polaris for years. They don't. None of that's in here, and none of their real names. They also have Scalp Hunter. You can't call him that anymore. He's got his name is not Scalp Hunter anymore. It's whatever his real name is. I can't remember what his real name is. But yeah. So I thought
Unrevealed.
it's yeah. I just thought it was funny because this is right after it happened. All this stuff. But
Mutant
great
Massacre
picture.
was a good series at that point. It's when
Obviously.
Angel got himself racked up to pieces.
Well, he got crucified and then Apocalypse took him over. There
Yeah.
you go, Mute Massacre right there.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a trade paperback.
It's not a trade paperback. This is an omnibus.
Hmm.
And yeah, Mute Massacre is great. Yeah, but I just want to talk about them because back then the Marauders were they're pretty cool,
They were hardcore.
hardcore. It was before then. It was like, oh, they're the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They wouldn't just murder a bunch of poor homeless mutants in the sewers, but these
And
guys
then the
did.
fucking Marauders went down there and
Literally
cleaned
just
house.
wiped them out. Yeah, and like Pat said, crucified Angel by his wings. So,
Because
anyways,
the analogy being with the mutants themselves, they're misfits because of, and then you can insert, some people say, it's puberty and the feeling of being, but also you could add other different
it's everything,
minorities into it. And then to write a story where these people just go down and
murder all the homeless people. Yeah,
Yep.
just at their most vulnerable. That's
yeah. It was a good story. Even Thor was involved.
Yep.
That's not my last one, but that's my article.
All right. So let's go to page 58. Thanks for the memories.
This is adding tanks to Car Wars is freaking dangerous.
Well, it said this is the rules and designs for tanks in Car Wars. And let me preface this by saying that whoever wrote the article, Dirk
Delint.
Delint, Derek.
It sounds very freaky deaky Dutch.
It's probably Derek. He
They're
does
still in.
preface. He does say that these rules should be used sparingly and should not be used as regulars in Car Wars because it takes away from the feel of Car Wars having a tank rolling around there.
My
Uh,
que- my question is: this the best art ever?
Oh, the actual chaps on that
And he's about
caked
to
up
get his head
Mad
smashed in by the
Max.
beam for
Yeah, yeah.
and then it goes over to the other page with the tank, and then all the once again looks like what is that midget time traveling movie?
oh,
Oh, Time Bandits.
Time
Yeah, it looks like
Bandits,
Time
yeah.
Bandits running this.
Running the tank.
Yeah,
No, it's clearly
So,
a tone is set by the artwork.
and I can tell why this is in Dragon Magazine and not in a Car War supplement.
it's way too powerful,
Yeah.
but it is fun. I like how they even do the top like classic Car Wars. They do the top down side, and then they have the tokens with you can add the turrets to them and stuff. It's so cool.
Mhm.
It's
So,
classic Car Wars. It brings
yeah,
back such good memories.
I love Car Wars.
But
All right.
don't play with tanks.
Do you have any more?
I have a ton of quick hits here.
All right.
Do-
I have probably one quick hit too.
Okay, so we're gonna go page 16.
We're doing quick hitters now, are we?
Yep. What are the odds? And
this
my
is
my
horrible.
question is, who needs this?
Yeah,
Then why'd you bring it up?
exactly.
Who
This
needs?
could have been avoided. This needs. This
Look
kind
at
of
these
nonsense
numbers.
needs to be-
Look at these numbers. That's all I have to say. Look at these
Yeah.
probability numbers. Man, I just wanted to say
Just-
what?
Yeah, what is going on? There's
Quick
no
hit.
need for this.
That was my quick hit.
All right, so my last quick hit will be 78. Gamma 3.
Yes, Game of World.
This
Game
is
of
basically
3.
this is basically the rules and guidelines on how to convert your second edition stuff characters to the third edition Gamma World, which I think is the last edition of Gamma World before it comes back out again. What,
Many
2-3
years
years ago?
later. Yeah, many years later. Yeah.
So it's just, but you don't need to worry about this because we're only playing second edition.
Not first edition.
Well, first, second edition are roughly the same.
Yeah.
So,
Is it much different between 2 and 3?
not that much different, but there are a couple different things. You get the mutations are a little bit different, things like that. So,
Yeah.
Because the mutations have been organized into subcategories instead of just one big giant list.
Yeah, it probably helps because it is a big giant list.
So, and there's an action control table now in 3, which I don't really understand because I never played third edition.
Yeah.
So,
You were done by third edition.
yeah. So,
Okay, we're gonna go to page 20 then. Another one where it's condensed combat, streamline the attack tables in AD&D games. This is supposed to be less complicated.
it's not.
I was like, how is this less complicated? I don't remember D&D being complicated, and this makes it. I'm like, do I just not know how to play D&D now? Do I forget how to play?
Now you've added math and 2 tables.
I'm like,
Yeah.
What am I can't understand it. Yeah, it was just
Come
like,
on, Travis.
Yeah.
Is this the guy who invented Thaco? Like, is this the guy who's gonna
I mean,
bring about
Thaco's easier than this.
that goes
though.
this minusing.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's instead of adding, you minus, but yeah. So I was
And
just like,
not only
what
that,
the-
you have to search the freaking list for the weapon you're
weapon.
using
Yeah, I was like,
to get the number to add into the formula
yeah.
to use in the second table. It's not. I don't know how this is streamlined.
No. Anyways, I was just like, what the hell? And my last one is on page 88. And this is a real quick one because it's just the previews. The very first thing is laser tag. I didn't know TSR made a laser tag live action game handbook. Did you guys know that?
And it's James Ward, who
Yeah.
working on Gamma World as
and,
we speak.
and the Marvel superheroes game.
So, like, I don't know if laser tag was a labor of love. I can see at the time everyone was kind of like, "Ooh, this is the wave of the future." It wasn't,
Well, it's so expensive. That was the problem.
but yeah, is
Well,
it a
it's
cash
paint-
in
it's-
or is it a?
It's like paintball came from laser tag pretty much. I don't know which came first technically, but probably paintball I assume, but it's very similar ideas. But even today there's similar things to laser tag. People do go into those arenas and
Oh, but
They're,
the different laser tag nowadays is way, way,
oh, they
way.
got vests and helmets
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't that funny looking helmet and the gun? That didn't really work that well.
Well, there was that stupid one version they
Photon?
sold it. Well, there was another one, and I can't remember what it was. It might have
Photon
been
was
called
one of them.
laser tag, but you had to wear the thing on your chest, and it was
Yeah.
basically it wasn't even laser. It was just kind of a light
Yeah,
flash.
that's all it is. Laser tags just a light. The gun projects a light, and the sensor detects the light. That's all it
Mhm.
is. There's no lasers involved.
No,
So
no. It is like the duck hunt gun.
It literally is. Yeah, it's the exact
yeah,
same thing.
It just reads that it's scanned. But yeah, to have a official live action game,
And wasn't
I don't.
TSR the one where like live action games have nothing to do with us, and they were really
no,
against LARPing? I guess
well,
not.
those people.
When Hasbro or whoever makes laser tags money comes around, they're pro LARPing.
It's World of Wonders.
Yeah, because it's not a
Yeah.
role playing game where you role play people playing laser tag. A it's
Maybe
a
that's very
game book.
meta.
It's a paramilitary organization training
Yeah, I
game.
assume it's ways to do different scenarios, like capture the
Yeah,
flag,
it's
and
you're right. More of a scenario book in which
I
when you're
assume.
playing laser tag to do certain things.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
I don't know.
it includes game safety rules, tips, and official club information.
So you can start your own club.
So the first safety rule is do not pistol whip people.
Yeah. Don't make punji sticks.
Yes, grenades are not allowed.
All right. All right. So let's move on to some ads then. Rob, what do you got for ad?
I only got one ad. It's on
Oh,
page 25.
I got 19 ads. It's a lot.
25.
Oh
Obviously.
dear.
Obviously, it's Mercenary's Handbook from Battletech. And for some reason, it's written in reverse at the bottom. I don't know why that.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
not just
Maybe
a job.
maybe it's
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 an
an
adventure.
adventure.
maybe it's in French.
But
Oh,
it's like you read the description. It says it's a complete source book for mercenaries, informative, 60 pages, and must-have for complete mech warriors. This is not the cover. This is totally different cover, and
This is
the
the
actual
mock-up.
who knows? And the actual book is 104 pages. So it's like I don't know. It's really weird that from when this ad came out until when it actually came out. It's just a totally different book.
Maybe this is the mock-up. Maybe that's why it's backwards. They said, "Oh crap, we don't have the new cover ready yet. Send the mock-up."
I do like the old what's it called Nero helmets before they're
Oh,
like the old buckets on the heads before they're like,
yes.
yeah, that's a little funny looking. It's a yeah, Wolf's
All right.
Dragoons, I believe that's the is
I
that the
think it
Wolf's
is.
Dragoons? Yeah.
All right, Mr. Fike, what do you have for an ad?
let's see. Let's go to page 81, please.
81.
I would think that everyone
Ooh.
would have taken this. This
Oh,
is uh, Ochimo, the Spirit Warrior, Oriental Adventures adventure. And the Spirit Warrior Strikes is a good tagline for what looks like a pretty dope. Like if the adventure lives up to the Panther Ghost talisman situation that's going on here,
looks like an Oni.
this was a good adventure. I've never seen it before.
I've
Not
never
I,
I,
not
I
yeah,
don't
I
think
never saw this thing either.
Oriental Adventures. I don't remember seeing any adventures for it, which is kind of funny.
no,
I
me either.
don't remember any, but yeah, I definitely never heard of this. That's why I had no recollection of it, so I had no nostalgia for it.
Yeah, me too. But like Jack, the cover did intrigue me, so
Yeah, yeah.
I stopped to read it and see what it was about.
It's an awesome cover.
Okay, well then we'll run through mine real quick.
Jack,
Page
do you have any
two.
more?
No, I'm done. I've got a Oriental Adventures with a Jeff Easley cover. How much more do you want from me? I can only bring so much. I'm a stone. You're trying to get blood.
That's
Page
true.
two.
Yep, Warlock of
We're at
Firetop
the
Muncheon.
Firetop Mountain, and all I wrote for this is what the f? Where are all these GW games coming from?
You never heard of this game? This is a
I
famous
never
one.
heard of this game
Oh,
either.
this is a famous one. It's a almost dungeon crawler kind of game.
It looks like it. I mean, just looks.
I'm amazed you haven't heard
It
of this
looked
before.
like first edition Talisman, is which I thought it was at first when I was reading this.
It's more
I
like
thought it was
dungeon.
like I thought it was an expansion for Talisman.
No, it's more like dungeon, I
But
think.
then I read the top. It's a new game
Yeah,
from. I'm like, oh, so it's just basically like Dungeon. And so it was, uh,
yeah.
Is
It's
it
just a dungeon crawler. Literally, it's the original one of the
yeah.
original dungeon crawlers.
is it a board game in which that is the board, or are
Yeah.
those tiles, and is it the tile?
No, this is the actual
I think
board. I
that's the
think.
board.
The
Okay,
idea of having tiles is way too advanced for these people.
Yeah,
okay.
at this point,
Yeah, that's the
uh,
future, Jack. Stop talking about the future.
the
Well, if it
future.
was, if it was
It
that,
does
that
look
would
like
have
it's
been
so tiled. Like you could see like each of the
groundbreaking.
tiles on here.
It'd have been mind blowing. Like obviously a primitive form of it, but I was like, oh, if that's what that is
You
a game
literally could
changer.
you
But
could look at all these things. There's where they connect. You just cut it. You can make your own tiles out of this board.
I, yeah, you just grab a random hallway section and then grab the thing, put it on there. It
Yep,
would be,
because you can mix and match wherever they meet, and yeah,
in my mind, I was like, oh, look at this. Could be a, but
Yeah. All right,
it's made by Steve Jackson, the British one, not the American one.
Steve British Jackson. All right, so let's move to page 57.
57. Which one? Games
Games
on
on
call.
call. Again, I got what is this? A distributor? Wholesale?
We
This is a
talked about
crap
this already.
ad. Did we? I
Yes,
wasn't
you had
sure
the
if we did or
exact same
didn't.
description. You were always like, "What is this?"
we did, but
I thought it was
I
a different
agree.
one. I thought this was a different company.
This,
Oh, maybe it's a
this,
different company, but
it was a different ad, same company, different ad. But I agree. The other one kind of told you what it was. This has even less information. The other one, you knew it had enough indicators of what was going on. This one, they've made it even more Spartan, pared it down, and now this could be for anything.
Like, can you just call and say, I want this game? And then, okay, boom, boom.
is it a distributor? Is it for stores?
But that we'll never know. Are they
Because it
selling
says
games?
it says buyer's guide. Buyers sounds more like a distributor, doesn't it?
But anyone, not really.
Well, you'd say catalog,
But
I think. Would you instead of buyer's guide? You'd say if you're selling to regular people, you say catalog. Buyer's guide sounds like bulk, you know?
But Costco sells in bulk. And my point
No,
is, can
that's
anyone
that's
just
for
call? Though? Are you selling wholesale?
yeah. It sounds like wholesale to me.
So,
bear with me. Games on Call would be a funny name for a YouTube channel that calls the phone
Random
numbers
numbers. Yeah.
in Dragon Magazine, old things for games.
let's put a pin in that because when we get to the last episode of this one, we're going to need to segue into the next thing. And maybe
I
games,
We could
games
do a
on call might be it.
jerky boys version of.
Or where we go back through every Dragon magazine and call all the ads.
And then just keep asking
That's so
until
cringe
we
to
get
me.
hung up on.
I couldn't fucking do it. It'd be so cringe.
Start a timer in the back and go, no, no, no. I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to buy your game. You
Yeah,
said I could.
it's right here printed in this article. I mean, is this not this number?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I might have to bow. I could edit it for you. I'm not being on that. So just me being
It's-
like, oh god,
It's got legs. It's got legs.
Alex, I agree with you, Jack. I'm on your
cringe.
I'm on your
I'm
side
cringing
with this one.
thinking about it.
I don't know. I don't know which worse: the optimism that would be something people would want to watch in my head, or the optimism that by the time we're done this, that one or two of us
Are still live.
isn't already dead. Yeah, like we're old men. Like none of us are going to survive that much
We-
longer.
We might
It's
put
literally. It's only gonna be like another couple years, Jack.
when we talk
Yes, and I'm an optimist.
when we talk about
Conservatively,
Yeah,
I'm wondering if we're going to make it like another 2 years. And I'm being an optimist.
we'll just refer to each other as like we do everyone else that we assume they were dead.
It's actually be about 5 years, I think, because what is it? We've been doing this for like 4 years, haven't we? It's been a long time. It hurts my brain to think about it.
Easy. We're on a 117. We do one a week, so
So
we're
divide by
117 weeks. There's 52 weeks
Yeah,
in a
so
year.
2 years.
So
We've done 2 years.
we're well into.
A couple years.
So
All right. Well,
So another
let's
4 years probably to get this done.
knock out my last ad. 95.
95. Not 96. I could have made a joke
Nope.
about 96.
95. No, no, no,
Oh, here it
90.
is. ElfQuest, yep.
The Elf Quest. This is
Board game, it says.
This one's the board game this time, and another game I need to find is what I put down.
Once again, I bet that'd be expensive because I bet ElfQuest fans are probably pretty
For
rabid.
some reason, I just did not know that this game existed, or if I did, it totally slipped my mind. You would think I would have seen this game because it was a Mayfair game.
This says 49 game board tiles, Jack. Maybe this game is a tile game.
Could be not a dungeon crawler, but some sort of
maybe Mayfair's ahead of the game.
Yeah, 50 tiles would make a sizable.
It says
Dungeon.
To vary up
I
the
think
board.
Dungeon Saga has 48.
what this says is play the intriguing game of strategy and tactics on your own unique board, which you build as you play.
Oh,
It never repeats
wow.
itself. This is literally a tile dropping game.
I'm intrigued now. We'll have to look.
It's Wendy and Richard Pinney make.
Yeah, those are the guys who wrote the comic.
Yep.
And
So
then
original
Mayfair.
art by them. 2 to 5 players.
All right. Even more intrigued now. So.
It's an 8-page basic game folder.
Ooh.
So 8 pages to play the game. I like that kind of game. That's my kind of game.
You get a board game surface sheet too.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
No way to find out if it's more than 9 or less than 90.
99.
I guarantee it's going to be more than 99. This seems so niche that there's going to be some ElfQuest people who are just like crazy about it.
I don't know. I found those figures fairly cheap.
Yeah. Well, by next episode, you have to tell us if you can buy
I will.
this.
So, well, then let's just wrap it up then. Let's call it a day.
It's been a long episode. It seems it hasn't
been a long
actually. It's been pretty short.
episode. Yeah, I cracked the whip like Jack asked me to.
Yeah, Jack lets us. He can't control us, so I like the firm hand. Jack's a little too loosey goosey over there.
So, all right. Well, if you played the ElfQuest game or any of these other things that we had questions about, feel free to comment. We love the comments. We do answer. One of these days, we'll get some millennial to come show Jack how to respond on the YouTubes.
Maybe.
Whoever that guy's name is, we'll get him over there.
Neil Blomkamp.
Oh, Neil Blomkamp.
When he's
Jack
not
is requesting-
when he's not directing some famous movies, he's going to come help you with the internet.
Yeah.
I think so. That's how I understand the whole system.
So, all
District
right.
9 too.
District 9.
Not Duncan Jones.
19.
District 9.5 weeks. Is that a thing?
District
Is that
9
something?
3/4. It's all about Harry Potter.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm trying to keep it clean, Jack. Unlike you.
On that note,
Although that brings me up to what is it, the on Harry Potter, it's 9 3/4 for the doorway or whatever to get on the train. But what if you happen to mistakenly go to 9 3? What is it? What's your movie you just said?
9.5.
9
I
and a half.
don't know where you're going, but you're making
I'm
yourself
saying-
laugh, and I think that
No,
is more important.
I'm
than
saying these
anything
Harry
else.
Potter people end up in 9.5 weeks. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Because they went in
Got
the
it.
wrong doorway.
is that
Got
the
it.
plot to Mirror Mask?
You wait till you see it, Jack. You'll be like, wow,
You're
why
gonna
didn't I know
love-
about
you're
this?
gonna love it.
Okay.
It has Sharon. It's gonna be awesome.
And Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
You have to watch.
Funny
You have to
episode
watch
next week.
Mask, and you have to
watch
watch it
And I
with a mirror.
Come back and go. That was sad. That was awful, Rob. Why would you?
How did you
Downer.
think that was gonna be my movie?
She loved her son.
I
Didn't
love Sam.
matter what he looked like.
Sam Elliott was great, but I still cried.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then on that note, let's wrap it up. We've been hanging out this thing too long. We've bitten this dead horse.
Yeah.
So, like, share, subscribe, comment, leave messages on the Facebooks. And for the Dragon's Tome, I've been your host, Chopper.
I'm Jack.
I'm Rob.
And we will see you next week with Captain Chaos leading the helm.
No, it's my turn, not Jack's.
That's what I said. He's Captain Mayhem. You're Captain Chaos. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
Dun,
That was
dun.
That was a 1982 reference, if anyone
Yeah.
gets it.
Yeah.
got him.
Dom DeLuise. Oh, I'm supposed to hit the clacker. Bye.
Yes.